Did you start it?
Hello, hello, hello. Yes. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining. We are here with Love on the Line. Tonight is all about you. We are here with the first ever episode. I'm April A. Carter, your certified expert relationship coach, and I am just so happy to be here with you. I'm excited to help you live your best love life. Tonight we have some amazing guests from Charlotte, but I want to know, where are you from? Where are you from? Type it in the chat. We love interaction here. And it's going to be 1 hour of love lessons, 1 hour where you get to actually see that you are not alone in your relationship journey. We have two fabulous guests joining us tonight. And guess what? I'm excited to get started. So let me tell you how it's going to go. Tonight is the first ever episode. Oh, excuse me. Tonight is the first ever episode, and I just want to make sure that all of my systems are running. But if it's not, please bear with me. This is the first ever episode, as I mentioned, and you know what? There's going to be some kinks that we need to work out, some things that we need to do, but we're just going to go with the flow. I'm just so happy that you are here with me today. So we're just waiting for our guests to come on. Soon as they get inside the queue, we are going to get started. But listen, we can get this party going right now. I want to know where you're from. I asked you that already. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey. I am a certified expert relationship coach. Yes, certified and expert. Now, what does that mean? That means that I help you live your best love life. And one of the things that I do, I actually coach women from all walks of life so that they can empower themselves to make better choices, not just in relationships, but with their life as a whole. Now, a lot of people don't know what a life coach is. Excuse me. A lot of people don't know what a relationship coach is or a relationship expert. Now, a relationship expert is a life coach for love. It is somebody who helps you get to the next level of your dating and relationships. Excuse me, guys. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any important messages here. Oh, I'm gonna put it on D and D.
It's on.
Okay, that was just our guest letting us know that she's going to be running a little bit late. But let me explain to you guys what a relationship coach is. So, a relationship coach is somebody that helps you reach your goals. It's kind of like a fitness coach when you go to the gym. It's like a financial coach when you're trying to get your estate in order, when you're trying to grow your profit, just trying to make sure that you are taking all of the necessary steps to reach that goal. A relationship coach is not a therapist, although there are some coaches that do have that certification. The difference between the difference between a certified relationship coach as opposed to a therapist is that a therapist helps you relieve some of the stresses of the past. They help you remove some of those roadblocks that you have been dealing with from the past. Now, the actual relationship coach, like myself, I help you get through things within the future. How do you reach that goal? You say, April, I want to start a great relationship. What do I need to do? We help you, my team and I help you build the blocks for success by doing that. Happy first episode. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that support. We need that support, especially when, you know, you've never done something before, right? It's definitely a little bit challenging, but I'm here for the challenge and I appreciate that. So let me explain to you guys what a relationship coach is. A relationship coach is somebody that helps you live your best love life. Now, you can get that at your local bookstore or also on your Amazon account, right? I know we're not really doing Amazon right now, but for those of you that are not paying attention to that, you can go ahead and get the book there. But there's also some downsides to that, right? I became a certified relationship coach after years of dealing with inconsistent men. I was in a domestic violence marriage and I just wanted a new change. I wanted to really figure out exactly where my life was going, what I needed to do. It wasn't until that marriage ended that I was able to step back and focus on myself and focus on the things that were important to me. Fast forward, now I'm happily married, remarried of more than 15 years. I have a supportive husband, a supportive spouse, and I'm teaching you how to do that too. So we're just waiting for some of our guests to join. And I have my assistant back here. So if you see me, just kind of like talking a little bit and going to the side, please give me some grace. I said this is our first episode and we are working behind the scenes to make this happen. Jessica does not like being featured on camera. So she doesn't have to be on camera, but she's going to help me make sure that this runs as smooth as it possibly can for our first episode. Any questions that you have while we're waiting on our guests? Any questions that you have while we're waiting on our guests? And I'm just looking here. Okay. My associate said that there are some individuals waiting on our YouTube channel, so just bear with us. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Some people are waiting. Please, thank you for your patience. Let's go ahead and make sure we let those people in. Okay. Jessica, do me a favor and text our guests back and make sure they receive the link to join. Once they click on that link, I'll be able to let them in. Okay, so she said some people are waiting. The link was already sent to them. Okay, so we have two separate links. So my apologies. So we're going to make sure that these individuals do not get confused and that they are on. All right, so we have 3 live viewers. So somebody made it to the right link. Thank you so much for being here. We're super excited that you're here. Somebody has made it to the right link. Jessica, turn that volume down on that one. All right, so while we're waiting for our viewers, let us know, where are you from? Where are you calling from? What are your biggest relationship questions? We want this show to be live and full of engagement. Listen, I'm not here to just help the people that are calling. I'm here to help you, and you. I'm here to help everybody that's in the chat. And what is that going to do? That is going to actually help you, inspire you to start making moves. Even though these situations that we're going to be dealing with are not your particular situations, they may have some relation to you, right? As far as something similar, some similarities. So make sure you're using everything that you hear and your responses to apply it to your own particular situation, okay? So we are live right now. So hopefully people will just go over. If you're having trouble, make sure you just go to The Relationship Lady on YouTube and my channel will pop up. Again, I apologize for any inconvenience, but we'll be back next week, even bigger, better, and stronger. But for now, we're just going to push through. We're going to push through with what we already got going on. All right, 3 viewers. Where are you from, viewers? Okay. All righty, so let's see. It's working. I was told the link is not working, but we have 3 viewers on, so it's working some type of way. So my apologies. I believe I sent the wrong link out to everybody. We are doing the best we can. We're going to keep this party going because there are people that need to be helped. So we are just going to do the best we can with what we got. So thank you. My guest is waiting, so she'll be in shortly. Okay. So let me let my guest in, and whoever is able to join, you guys will join. If not, we'll be able to post this later on the back end for you to watch. Excuse me. A little hot, a little sweaty in here. Okay. All right, so we got Ray from Charlotte. Thank you so much for being here. Diamond Brown is on the live. Enovio, thank you for being here. All right, the link is working. We got people coming in on the link. So let me invite my guest in. The guest that we're waiting for tonight is Miss Diamond Brown of Diamond's Body Care. And she is going to be here to help us get some of these relationship concerns addressed. Now, the only thing I have to do now is she says she's here waiting, but not able to invite her. Diamond, do me a favor, Diamond, and click that individual link that I just sent you. Click that individual link. Just click that link. Once you click that link, I'll be able to bring you on. So again, thank you everybody for being here. So while we're waiting for the guests to show up live, we can get some of these relationship questions answered in the chat. What are some of your relationship questions that you may have? What are some things that are holding you back in your relationship? What are some of the things that you don't like about the dating society right now? What are some of the things that just grind your gears? Please tell me. I'm here. I want to know. I want to make sure you are getting your answers to your toughest questions. All right, we're typing in the chat and we're responding and we're doing all of the things. So I just invited someone to come on again. Well, you know what? While we're waiting, I just want to tell you some of the top relationship situations that I hear a lot, right? So I have been in the industry for over 20 years. I have helped over 1,000 women win in life and in love. I help them live a life of abundance. Not only am I a relationship coach, but of course I'm a life coach. And I didn't realize I was a life coach until I actually started doing the work and getting the certification. So I've always been helping women live their best lives through women's empowerment. So on the side, outside of doing that, I love to host events. I host singles events, couples events, and women of power events. Last week, we had a flirt after work mixer, and it was a really, really good mixer. But let me tell y'all, the conversations were flowing, right? And what we actually came to the conclusion of is that men and women, we really do want the same things. It's just a lot of the bravado from the men and a lot of the feminine energy that has been replaced by the alpha type female. Grown men talking. That's right. Thank you for joining. Okay, you got the link. Thank you. We got people coming in. So at the Flirt After Work event, one of the topics that we discussed was, is it okay to be dating multiple people at one time? What is your answer? Put that in the chat right now. What are your answers? What do you think about dating multiple people at one time? Now, my associate Jessica, she's saying no. She's saying no, you shouldn't be dating more than one person at a time. What do y'all say? What do you think about that? How do you feel about that? And then I'm going to give you my response and the reason as to. Okay, so let me respond to my associate. Excuse me, guys. She's saying she's here, but she's not clicking on the link. So I don't know. So maybe we can get you to join us next time. I would have loved to speak with you, but that you do have the right link. You do absolutely have the right link to my associate who's going to be joining us tonight. So is it Ray of Sunshine? Ray of Sun 71 said it all depends on you. It all depends on you. And I agree with that. It all depends on your comfort level, right? However, I'm going to tell you, especially to my ladies, you do not want to put all of your eggs in one basket. You do not want to put all of your eggs in one basket. So dating more than one person at a time does not make you a floozy, a hoe, or just anything like that, right? Of course, you're going to have boundaries, especially if you're not having, relations with those people. I do not recommend that at all. If that is the case, of course, just one person, right? But when you date only one person at a time, you're missing out on opportunities. I have several friends, actually. I have several associates or even people that, I don't even know that well, who have, just slid into my email, send me messages and saying, you know what, they thought this person was the one and they were dating them and, going through, what they thought was a relationship. Come to find out that person wasn't as serious with them as they thought they were. Why? Because they didn't have those conversations. They didn't have that conversation of it's me and you, we're together in a committed relationship. So at the end of maybe a year or even a year and a half, a year or two, that person, mostly the female, is left holding the bag with egg all over her face. She did not realize that she was betting on a dead horse. That horse had a broken leg. That horse was not going to take her to the finish line. Okay. So when you do that, ladies, you are wasting all of your time. It's best for you to date at least a minimum, I say 3, a minimum of 2 people at one time. That doesn't mean you're seeing them every day or every night. It just means that you are allowing the best man to win, the best man to vie for your time. Think of it this way. Why should somebody benefit from having all of you? Why? What have they proven to you that they deserve to have you all to themselves? What have they proven to you? Have they made you a committed partner or person in their life? Have they actually said to you, hey, I really like you. I really want to spend my time with you. I don't want to deal with anybody else. If that is the case, that's not dating. That means you and that person are in a committed relationship. So when you say it depends, and then I see some chats here, they're saying, oh, yes. So when you say yes, you should date more than one person, or do you mean yes, you should only date one person? Yes, you should. Okay, so there's mixed reviews, but I'm telling you, as your certified expert relationship coach, ladies, that if you are not in a committed relationship, meaning 2 people agree that you guys are just going to be dating each other, then you should definitely keep your options open. Yes, date more than one. You took the words right out of my mouth, right on time. Yes, date more than one. Naima Colon says, is it colon or cologne? I know, depends on if you're Spanish or not. Yes, date more than one. Keep your options open. Keep your options open. Keep your options open. Keep your options open, ladies. At the end of the day, you are the prize. You are the prize. And I want you to remember this. This is your takeaway. The relationship is all about you. It's about who you choose, why you choose them, and why you stay in the relationship with that person. So you have to choose wisely. But if you only have one person to choose from, your numbers are going to be slim. It's slim pickings. It's going to be slim pickings. Some people get overwhelmed. Okay, let's see what this next chat says. Mind Right Daily TV. Some people get overwhelmed dating more than one. Yes, some people might get overwhelmed. But that is if you're putting all of your love into one person. See, that's the problem. We got to slow the faucet. We have to slow the faucet, especially to my ladies. Ladies, when you are dating someone, sometimes we just go all in. We turn that faucet on full blast, full throttle. It's like the backyard hose. It's like all the way up, very high, very high. You need to drip a little bit. Drip, 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 drip. And when you drip, guess what? You don't get overwhelmed. You don't get saturated. You don't allow that person to take over your whole being. So I want to make sure you are using the drip method. Definitely more than one. So Novia says more than one until you decide to move forward with one. That's right. That's right. That's right. See, y'all ladies know what to do. Y'all know what to do. More than one until you decide to move forward with one. Okay. And then when you do decide to move forward with that one, I want to make sure that it's not just all in your head. That person has to agree to it too. Sometimes we actually say, okay, you know what? I like him a lot. I'm not seeing anybody else. But my man didn't get the memo. He didn't get the memo. Okay. So make sure that both of you guys are on the same playing field. I'm glad you like that. I'm glad you like that. Okay. So we talked about that at the Flirt After Work. Hey, Melanin Queen, thank you for joining. So we talked about that at the Flirt After Work. We also talked about, grown and sexy things like sex, right? Because a lot of the women at the Flirt After Work event felt as though men just wanted that one thing, kind of like hit it and quit it. Now, I have a different view from that. My view on that is just like, okay, no, you don't have to give it up to everybody. No, I don't want you to give it up to everybody, because with every time you have relations, guess what? A piece of you is missing. A piece of you is on that person. A piece of your soul is left with that person. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Be sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe if you love the content. This is the first show. It's only going to get bigger and better from here. If you want to be a part of it next week or every other Thursday, we air at 8 p.m. Be sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. We could definitely use that as well. So make sure you do that, because I want to make sure that we get this community growing, because my goal and the reason why I became a certified relationship coach is, yes, I want you to have a man, but it's more important for me that we have great communities. It's more important to me that our children have 2-parent households. It's more important to me that we have a family of legacy, and that is built when there are 2 parents in the household working together for one common goal. So definitely be sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for that reminder. Yes. I have my friend Novia. She's like, I fight back, but yes, she does listen, and she's booed up right now. So we are so happy for her. She has a nice, handsome man, and she's doing it. She's working all the angles so that she can make this relationship work with his commitment and approval. Okay. So back to the sex thing, right? So when you guys are having relations and you decide that this person is the one for you, I just want to make sure that you are using your own intuition, right? Sometimes we hear a lot of these podcasts, relationship coaches, certified expert, all of these things telling you to, act like a lady, think like a man. But ladies, we were not built like that. We're not built like that. And thank goodness that we're not built like that, because the world needs what you have. So when you're listening to people, especially, people who you don't really know or trust, you're just scrolling on YouTube, scrolling on social media, make sure that you're using your own judgment. Yes, it is fine to wait the 90 days. That is fine. But do not make that your whole hardcore objective or goal, right? You are grown. 9 times out of 10, most of you guys that are on the link, guys and gals that are on the link, are not virgins. So, and a lot of you are of a particular age. That thing has already been seasoned. That thing has already been seasoned, okay? So you don't need to just wait and hold out to give up the goods. If you feel like the person that you're dating or that you're going to be, in that particular situation with does not value you, that means you're picking the wrong type of people. My goal and my job is to make sure that you are dating men that respect you, that honor you, and that want to be a part of your life. Once you learn those foundations, you'll be able to start dating smarter for long-term lasting love. What I want you to do right now, I want you to get a pen and paper out. I want you to get a pen and paper. I'm getting ready to drop some jewels on you while we wait for the other guests to join us. So what I want you to know, I gave you one nugget already. That is that dating is all about you, ladies. Who you choose, why you choose them, and why you stay in a relationship. The next thing I want you to do is write down this WNDC method. The WNDC method is the method that got me featured on all of these media outlets. It's the method that got my book to being the #1 book. And let me show you this book. This book, Compatible Companion. It's the #1 new release book. It's the #1 new release book. Bring that light over here. Now, this book, inside this book is not just a book. It is actually like, you know, a journal. It has some things in here, some prompts for you, because it's more than just reading and putting the book down. This book is about, excuse me, let me talk to my associate. Go ahead, put that light down here that way. This book is more than about, you know, just reading and going on about your business. This book is about teaching you the foundational steps, okay? The first thing I want you to know is the W. The W is all about the wants. What do you want for your relationship? What do you want from a mate? What do you want for long-term lasting love? The reason why that is important is because sometimes we get in these relationships and you know what? We're just happy to like somebody who likes us back. And that is not the case. You are too smart of a woman to just be with anybody because they like you. We end up in these relationships and before you know it, you're in love and you're like, well, you can't help who you love. Yes, you can, because you have to cut it off at the knees before it even starts. Okay. So the wants, what do you want in a relationship? Know that before you get into the relationship. And I'm not talking about superficial things, right? Like we all want a man with money. We all want a man who's 6 feet tall. We all want we want those things. I mean, we're women. We want it. We want to be lapsed in luxury or whatever the term is. But what is really important? Do you want a family man? Do you want a man who knows how to provide? Do you want a man who makes sure that you're okay? Do you want a man who knows what it's like to put his woman first? What is important to you? It's not going to be, at the end of the day, it's not going to be that Louis bag or that Gucci bag. It's going to be having a man next to you at the hospital when you need him the most, or a woman at the hospital when you need her the most. Okay. It's about what's truly important. That's what builds lasting legacies. Okay. So that's the wants. The next thing is going to be your needs. That's the N in the WNDC method. What are your needs? So we want what we want, right? But what do you need to thrive? And I want you to jog your memory. Think back on all of your past relationships. What made you feel not so good about yourself in the relationship when it came to your mate? What made you feel like, you know what, I could never do without this again? Was it the fact that he always checked on you? Was it the fact that he made sure that your car had gas? Was it the fact that he was attentive? You know from experience that you don't want a gamer anymore because that person has no time for you. Do you want somebody who is building their career but never has time for you? What are your wants and your needs? What do you need to feel like a good, solid relationship is brewing? The next thing I want you to know is the D. Now, I'm going to smile because a lot of people think the D is the D, but it's not that deep. It's not that deep. The D is deal breakers. What are your deal breakers? Do you know that before you get in a relationship? Now, I know sometimes those deal breakers can be waving, right? But it's important to know what your actual deal breakers or non-negotiables are before you even enter the relationship. Because if you see that thing as it approaches you, you're going to exit stage left. It's not a pink flag. It's a red flag for you because it's a deal breaker, whatever that deal breaker is. And then the last thing is the C in the WNDC method. What are you willing to compromise on? What are your compromises? What are some of the things that you can actually say, you know what, I can forgo that for this? What are some of those things? And that is the WNDC method. So make sure you are dating smarter, ladies. Make sure you are dating smarter. Now, I'm looking for my guest here. I don't know if I've messed up the link or anything of that nature, but I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat. And if there's anybody that wants to join me to have their relationship topics answered, have their relationship questions answered, I would love for you to jump on the line with me. Definitely jump on the line. Let's get this communication going, because you could just watch my regular YouTube videos, right? So we don't need to be on the live for that. But I just want to make sure that I'm giving you the most important feedback that I possibly can as we kick off this Ask April A Love on the Line. So what are your questions? If you don't want to be on camera, I understand that. But what are your questions? Type it in the chat. What are you dealing with in your love life that you need expert relationship help for? Thank you. I'm glad that you like that. What are you dealing with in your love life that you need expert relationship help for? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because you have questions and I got the answers. You have questions and I got the answers. And I'm just responding to people in the chat. So thank you so much for your patience. Okay, so let's take a quick poll. Let's take a quick poll. Is cheating a deal breaker for you? Type in the chat 1 if it is, and type in the chat number 2 if it is not, and why. So 1 if cheating is a deal breaker for you, and 2 if cheating is not a deal breaker for you. Okay, Mind Right Daily. Cheating is not a deal breaker for you. Okay, that's interesting. And you know what? I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your honesty, because many people, especially women, we try to act like it's over, but we can see from the statistics and from all the reality shows that cheating is not a deal breaker for a lot of people. So why is cheating not a deal breaker for you? We can have a conversation about it. Okay, let's do that. Let's have a conversation about that offline. We're going to take this we're going to make this personal and have a conversation about that. Okay, you okay over there? Okay. All righty. So anybody else want to add 1 or 2? 1 if cheating is a deal breaker for you, and 2 if it is not. Now, I'm going to say for me, it's the number 1. Cheating is definitely a deal breaker for me. Okay, so Mind Right Daily says it depends if it's emotional or just sex. Okay, so we got a lot of tools. We got a lot of tools here. So cheating is not a deal breaker for a lot of people. Okay, so cheating is not a deal breaker for a lot of people. And everybody has their different reasons as to why. So so Jessica's over here adding her 2 cents. So if it's emotional or just sex. So if it's just sex, I take it that you're more forgiving. But if it's emotional, am I right? You're willing to stay and work it out? Okay. A lot of tools. Okay. So a lot of people say that, you know what, if it's emotional, you know, my mom used to always say, once they got they can have your, and you know, we have these crazy sayings sometimes, right? She used to say, they can have your mind, they can have your behind, but never your mind. Because once they get your mind, that's it. Which I understand what she was saying, but that's not something you tell a young lady, right? So I understand. Yes, we can get past just sex. So what if it's just sex again? And it's just sex again. Is there a number to how many times you'll be able to forgive that person because it was just sex? Right? And what do they have to do to gain your good graces? What are some of the things they need to do? Would they actually have to profess their love for you again? Would they have to go to counseling? What are some of those things that you would make your mate do once they cheat on you? For me, the trust will be gone. And I'll be like Glorilla, okay? I'll be outside just like getting my lick back, doing whatever. And I don't want to live like that. So we're just going to have to go ahead and end it. Because I guarantee you, ladies, it's faster for you to get some as more than it is for them, okay? So emotional will be grounds for termination. Really, really, really. Okay. Well, you know what? Everybody has their own opinions for that. Okay, so I got some number ones here. Okay, you thinking like me. I see that. There's no right or wrong reason because I want you to remember that your life is your life. And friendly reminder to be sure to subscribe and continue to comment in the chats. This is going to help the show get even bigger and better so we can have more interviews. A third a third is a different story. A third is a different story because that means they don't respect you and they know that you're not going to do anything about it. Even the second time. So, you know what? We have to work on that. And sometimes that boils down to, and it's not particularly you, Mind Right Daily, it's just our self-esteem, right? Because we feel as though, you know what, we work too hard, we put so much time into the relationship, you don't want to let it go. But you got to think of that song. And I know I'm using the wrong person's song because she stayed, but I could have another you in a minute. I could have another you in a minute. There are a dime a dozen. There are a dime a dozen. Now, women, here's what I want you to know. I know you're seeing all these podcasts and even people like myself, relationship experts, and, you know, we're telling you, well, I've never said this, but people are leading you to believe that there are no good men left. That's a lie. That's a lie. My client just got engaged. My girlfriend, who's over 40, just got engaged. And I had to put the 40 on there because sometimes we feel as though once you become a particular age as a woman, your value disintegrates. And that's not true. So yes, definitely hit the like buttons, and be sure to comment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I want to make sure that you know that there are quality men out there. But I want to make sure you also understand that you have to be in the right places. So one of the analogies that I like to use is kind of like, you know how when you go in a Family Dollar, I don't know if y'all have been in Family Dollar in a while, but I've stopped going in there because it's just ridiculous. You know, Family Dollar, they always have the packages out. You walk in, you know, they greet you. They're like, hey, thanks for coming in. But you got to get past all of the boxes. You got to get past all of the junk in the aisles. You got to get past of the raggedy looking shelves. It just looks crazy. It looks terrible, right? So while they have a lot of products in there, those are not the products that you want. But you shop there because the price is lower and it's more convenient. The same thing applies to your relationships. I want you to get out of Family Dollar. I want you to go to Publix. Go to Publix, ladies. It's bright. The aisles are clean. The floors are shining. People are coming to help you. Yes, it's more expensive, but you deserve it. Stop shopping at Family Dollar expecting Publix prices. Okay, stop doing that. I want to make sure that you know that you are the prize. So we have a question. Let's put this question in the chat. Yes, grown men talking. There was a lot of good men out here, ladies. Yes, listen up. There definitely is. So somebody says, I'm not getting past just sex. Yeah. And that's a cop out. That's a cop out. So also, ladies, when you ladies are speaking to these men, do not fill his mouth with what you think he should say. So sometimes we finish their sentences. Was it just sex or emotional? Of course they're going to choose. Let them have those open-ended questions. Okay? So you ask a question if you want to, but it cannot have something as far as a yes or no. He can't say yes or no. Do not give him the options. He needs to elaborate. So one of the questions that we got is from Miss Brown. And she says, let me put it in the chat where everybody can see it. What are unrealistic expectations of a man when you first start dating him? Give me an example. I'm going to tell you unrealistic expectations for most people would be asking him to pay your rent on the first month. Now, let me tell y'all something. I'm from New York, but I lived in Florida. Those Florida girls have no chill. They are young Miamis all day, okay? But here's the thing. The only men that are doing that are the men that are, first of all, doughboys because they don't work hard for their money. And there are also men that want something in exchange. Most men, quality men, they're not going to want to be played, just like you're not going to want to be played. So that's unrealistic. Asking a man to pay your rent. What's not unrealistic is having a man wine and dine you. That's not unrealistic. Okay. You should be self-sufficient, and you should feel embarrassed to even ask that from somebody that you're just starting to date. So that is definitely an unrealistic expectation. And yes, there are a lot of good men out here, ladies. There are a lot of good men out here. So, okay, so we got Mind Right Daily. Thank you for joining. We're going to go ahead and add you to the stage. What's up? Thank you for joining. We're going to have you on the line.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you
Am I
loud.
muted? Okay, cool. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, for sure, for sure. And what's your name?
My name Lenny.
What's up, Lenny? Everybody, welcome Lenny to the stage. Woo! Lenny, thank you for being here. Lenny, what's your question?
Well, my thing is this. I really had a comment more so, just
Okay,
talking
what's your
about
comment?
just talking about the cheating thing. Because for me, I look at it like this: if it's emotional, then it's more so like, okay, that may be some issues to where like she may want to leave the relationship. If it's just sex, then it's like, okay, you just had a moment. You know what I mean? You just needed something. Maybe you just was feeling away. Maybe you just wanted this person to get something out your system. So that's why I would say that would be more of a conversation. Because women, a lot of times, you got to know your woman too. Because if she's the
Right.
type of woman that can only have sex with a man if she's emotionally, tied to him, then that's a different conversation. But you have some women who they can just have sex just off of, physical. So it comes down to knowing your person. And me personally, I don't think sex can make or break a relationship. That's just my personal opinion. It's just sex, you know what I mean? So that's
Right.
how I feel about
And I like your observation. I definitely like your
it.
observation, especially the point where you mentioned that women are more emotionally attached. And because women are more emotionally attached, they take some time to actually have relations with a man, which means that it's one or two things. If it's just sex and she's not emotionally involved, then that shouldn't be your woman, because that means she's willing to just drop the drawers for just anything. It doesn't take an
But
emotional connection.
but if she could be somebody who's very sexually charged, and if that's what you
Mhm.
into, then that's what you into. You know what I mean? That's not a deal breaker for some men. Some men can deal with a woman who's very sexually open and very sexually free.
But are men willing to deal with that if it's their woman who is sexually open and sexually free? When does the get back happen? When does the disrespect happen? Would you look at her the same type of way, or have you looked at her the same type of way if that is something that has happened to you in the past?
I wouldn't look at her a different way because I tend to take people for who they are. If I'm gonna get with you, I'm gonna first of all I'm gonna do an evaluation on you to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask certain questions before I call myself calling you my girl. You know what I mean? A
Right.
lot of times men deal with ego. That's why they ask you, well, what's your body count? Or what's this? How many guys you done slept with and all of that? That's all ego. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I'm gonna take you for who you are. If you're a type of woman who's sexually free and you kind of, you know, you don't need to be in a relationship to have sex, or you don't need to be emotionally tied to a man to have sex, then okay. That's with me personally, that's okay with me. Now it's a line, of course. I don't want you to just be out here doing whatever, whoever, however. You know what I mean? But I'm a little bit more lenient because I understand that women are people at the end of the day. They're not everybody's not Mother Teresa. Everybody's not saving it for marriage. Everybody's not, you know what I'm saying? I don't look at it like that.
Right. So are you more lenient because of that, or are you more lenient because of the fact that you may have done some dirt on the side?
I'm more lenient because of the fact that I understand people are people. It's not about me doing dirt on the side. It really don't matter what I've done in the past. You know what I mean? Because if I'm with this person, it's me and her. You know what I mean? It starts from then. You know what I mean? So
Okay. So I like that point. So what are you willing to do to get the relationship back on track? Because obviously once a woman cheats, or even, I'm not going to say men too much, but once somebody cheats, that means there was something that was lacking in the relationship. What are you willing to
mm,
do to get back on track to make sure that or try to prevent that, because you can't control anybody, right? Or try to prevent that from happening
well,
again in the future.
it takes honest conversation. Um, you know, therapy, of course. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to have an honest conversation about what it is that I feel like I need, because it don't mean that. somebody else is doing something wrong. It could be something within me. Like say if I cheat or whatever the case is. 9 times out of 10, it's within that. Well, really, 10 times out of 10, it's within that person. It's something that I might not feel adequate in. I may be insecure with. You know what I mean? It's not always because this other person is not doing something. So we got to have honest conversations around that and really see what's really going on with the person before we start saying, you know what I mean? We ready to just throw them away because they cheated. If we say we love this person, if we say we're with this person, how can we just throw them away when they make a mistake or they do something that we don't like? You know, so
Well, I understand that.
that's
So,
all I'm
and
saying.
Ray of Sun 71 says how you have to find out the reason why they feel like they want to step outside of the relationship. So does
Right.
the reason, so let's say they give you the reason, right? Does that make it better? Or do you try to fix what you've done, throughout that whole relationship and make it beneficial to them?
It
And at
makes
what
it better.
cost?
It makes it better in the sense of I understand you. If you're going to be honest, this is why you did this. Okay. Because the bottom line is to get to understanding. To me, that's what it's about. Who is this person? Who am I with? Why do they do the things that they do? That's what I'm worried about. You as a person. You did something and
Yeah.
you made, you did something that obviously, has us in a situation to where we it may be mistrust and things like that. But I'm trying to get to the bottom of who you are. That's the
Okay.
main thing.
So is there a time frame, right? So let's say you've been dating this young lady for maybe a year. Is there a time frame? Does that negate from what you're willing to do and how much work you're willing to put in to make that relationship work?
I think time comes into it to a certain degree, depending on where you are in life, your age, what you got going on. Because as we get older, time is of the essence. We can't just sit here and say we have forever for a whole bunch of time. But it really just comes down to communication and who the person is. That's really what it comes down to. Because some people stay with people for years and work things out, and people have infidelities throughout. They may slip year two, but then they go 5, 6 years and there's no problems. You know what I mean? Then they may slip in year 8. You know what I mean? So it really depends case by case basis.
Well, they're doing a lot of slipping. That's too much slipping for my ladies. Ladies, that's too much slipping.
I mean,
You
it could be
go on to
it could be
2 and 8.
ladies doing it too. It could be ladies
Well,
doing it
no,
too.
okay,
It's
for
not
the
always the
ladies or
man.
the men. And here's a situation, ladies. When a man cheats, well, a woman, when somebody cheats early on in the relationship, there's no benefit to making that relationship work. There's no benefit. The only thing that you're going to get from that is heartache, and you're going to gain a lot of mistrust and judgment and disjudgment from it. Okay, so you're going to be always thinking that that person might be doing something. You're not going to feel as though you're ready to grow and build in that relationship because you don't have a solid foundation. Now, maybe if the relationship is like 5 years or 8 years, like you said, then maybe you guys have already have that foundation set up where trust and things, and we can rebuild that. But there's no point of rebuilding on a house that didn't have any foundation from the beginning. And a lot of the people that I work with, they've run into that. A lot of the people that I work with, they have run into that situation where, you know what, they gave this person the benefit of the doubt after only maybe a year of being together or even less. And that person has shown them who they really were, but we didn't listen, or that person didn't listen. So I want to make sure, yes, it's okay to work on a relationship, but make sure that you know what your WNDCs are, your wants, your needs, your deal breakers, and your compromises, and at what stages. Because 1 year is just a blip in time. Most people live 75 plus years. To put your love on the line and your time on the line for a 1 year relationship may not be the best for you, ladies. And I'm talking to the ladies, even though I have the men on the line. I'm talking to the ladies because ladies, we're more susceptible to actually going off of emotion, and as opposed to just what is literally there on the table, just in facts. Okay. Is there anything
So
else you want to add to our conversation?
one more thing before I go, I just want to ask this,
Sure.
and this is to the women that's in the chat, and it's to you too. What do you think makes a woman soft?
What makes a woman soft is the man. The man makes the woman soft. The woman has to feel safe. She has to feel secure, and she has to feel as though it's okay for her to be vulnerable. it's not just going to be money, right? Because we make our own money. It's not going to be lavishing her with gifts. It's not going to be that. She's going to have to feel as though she can really trust you. She can put her life in you. She can depend on you. Dependability is another thing that makes women soft. So when you see a lot of us women out here being hardcore and just, it's because we've been let down so many times and we've had to pull ourselves up from the bootstraps and proving that we cannot depend on anybody. Once we feel safe and secure, you guys can get the world from us. And that is where I feel as though the disconnect is happening between the male and the woman. What would you say?
I agree with that, but I wanna ask you also, do you think a woman comes already soft? Do you think she has to have that in her already? Or does a man just have to take her from her masculine and bring her soft? Because there's some women that are a little bit more masculine than others. You know what I mean?
She
So
already
do you
has
think
that in her. She's already has that in her. That's what makes her a woman. So when I hear people saying act like a lady, think like a man, the two don't mesh because we're not meant to be that type of way. Life has made us hard. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this before they do that. So yes, we're already soft. And as you mentioned, yes, some people are more, I guess alpha type females or stronger or harder or harsher. It's because they haven't been able to trust.
Right. That makes sense.
Are you in a relationship right now?
Yeah, I'm in a relationship right now. Yeah.
Okay, congratulations. How long have you guys been together?
For about 2 months.
All right, so it's new. We're working on something.
Yeah, it's new. And it's pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome. Are you guys located in the Charlotte area?
Yeah, we're in the Charlotte area. Yeah.
Okay, well, we have some amazing events coming up. We have a couples wine tour and tasting that's happening in June. So make sure you go to april-a-carter.com/events to learn more about the couples wine tour and tasting, because it's not just for the singles. We got to get the couples together so the couples can continue to cultivate their relationships and be around other like-minded couples who still like and love each other. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And y'all can follow me on Mind Right Daily on all platforms, Instagram and TikTok, Mind Right Daily. I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
All right, Mind Right Daily. Let's go ahead and put that in the chat. Mind Right Daily. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. All right.
All right, let's bring in our next guest. I hope I got it right. So our next guest is Diamond. We're bringing Diamond to the stage.
Finally.
Hello, Diamond. Hello. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I know we was having such a hard time. I didn't went to 5 different links, but as I told you, I was putting my headband on because I know you really like to wear headbands. But I wrote down all of these questions. And so I just want to give you a few to answer so you can move on to the next person.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we're happy to assist you. We have 3 minutes left. Thank you to everybody that has joined. Make sure you like, comment, follow, subscribe, all of the things. I'm going to hit you with my website in the chat. Go to april-a-carter.com to get some helpful relationship resources that can help you improve your love life as well as your daily life as well. So, Diamond, what questions do you have for us today?
So the very first question is, what are unrealistic expectations of a man when you first start dating him?
Okay, well, we talked about that a little bit earlier. So the unrealistic expectations will definitely be in regards to monetary, right? It's also, that's one major one, monetary. It's also in relations to how far you're willing to expose that person to the parts of your life, right? So sometimes you meet a man and you're like, okay, can you help me move? Can you help me do this? And while that is not, too out of the ordinary or too crazy, but as a woman of a particular age, some things are just shouldn't be asked of a man. Okay. So those expectations, if you feel as though you have to second guess yourself from asking, then it's probably a huge ask, and you might want to refrain from that until you get to know him a little bit better.
Understood. And then my next question is, what are 3 things a woman can do to show a man that she's wife material in the beginning of dating?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Sorry, I knew I was going to have these questions.
Well, that's a good one. That's a good one. So the first thing is to decide, first of all, if you even want to be that man's wife.
Okay.
Because not everybody gets the wife treatment.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of the relationship, that's not something that you should be thinking about. We put too much pressure on that. In the beginning of the relationship, you should be having fun. You should be enjoying each other. You should be just spending time together to make sure you guys are both aligned, to make sure you guys are both on the same path, or the same paths of life, walking down the same street, right? Because sometimes you like somebody and you're going this way and that person's going that way. No matter how much you like them, that's not going to work for a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
The third thing that I would say that you should do is, of course, you're going to have those conversations. Once you get to know that person and you have those deep conversations, you'll know the type of woman that he likes. But be careful about doing that, right? Because that means you'll morph into the type of woman that he wants you to be, as opposed to being your most authentic self, which is how long-term relationships last.
Good. Okay. And my very last question is, what is 2 things a woman can do in the beginning of a relationship to run a man away?
Oh, how much time you got? How much time you got?
That's
well, the first thing, yeah, okay. Well, the first thing is, men feel just like women, right? They want to be feeling as though they are appreciated. They want to feel respected. So disrespecting is one, right? Calling them out of their name.
Yeah.
That's definitely a huge one. And then the second thing is always being in the streets.
Ooh.
They don't want that. They don't want that. But they might not want a Susie homemaker. They're fine with you building your business, doing all those things. But if you're always in the street, then they're going to probably exit stage left sooner than later.
That's good. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Diamond, thank you so much for being here. How can we find you? What are your Instagram and social media handles?
It's Diamond's Body Care on all platforms.
Okay, I got Diamond's Body Care 10.
Yes, that's what it is. Sorry.
Okay, perfect. We put that in the chat. Be sure to go follow Diamond. All right, we have everything in the chat. So Ray of Sun 71 says, I learned that he does not feel the same about feelings like me. Okay. And that's something that you will learn and understand in the beginning of the dating phase, once you are actually putting that work in. All right, so we are going to bring on our last guest for the evening. Thank you to everybody for being here. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. We're going to bring on our guests. Grown Men Talking. What's up? We have Mr. Mingo on the live. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your love and support. I'm looking forward to continuing this conversation with you on your platform as well. Mingo, tell the people about what you do. Mingo is bringing people together. He is bringing people to marry. Meet to Marry is the name of his organization and what he's doing. Tell us a little bit about everything that you have going on in case we want to get linked up. How could we do it?
Okay, so I have a channel called Grown Men Talking on YouTube. And really, like April said, the goal is to get people married. The goal is to see how many people we could get off the market together to basically enjoy what April and I have, right? April's a happily married woman with her husband. I'm a happily married man with my wife that I've been with for 15 years. So what I did was I started a show called Meet to Marry on YouTube that so far it's been doing very well. I'm on season 2 right now, and the success rate is starting to look really good. So I'm excited about that. Y'all tap in because April is definitely joining what we got going on as well. And I just wanted to come up here and give you your flowers while I can, and to say I'm so happy for this first episode. I want to support you however I can, and I'm here for you however you need me.
Oh, wonderful. I appreciate that. And there's nothing like collaborations. collaborations in business, and then romantic collaborations are a plus as well, which is why we do what we do, because we know that it's possible. We know that you can have it all. You can have love, a career, a beautiful family, vacations, all of those things with a quality partner right by your side. So be sure to tune into Mingo's channel. Mingo, what is your IG or your social media handles?
So my IG is Mingo365. That's MINGO 365. And really, YouTube is Grown Men Talking.
Okay. Grown Men Talking on YouTube.
Yeah. TikTok is the same. Meet to Marry on TikTok. So we're doing it.
All right, so we're excited. Thank you guys so much for being here with me this evening. You guys are champions. You pulled through. We had a lot of technical difficulties going on, but you know what? We got to work out the kinks to get to the diamonds. We're going to be dropping some more jewels every Thursday. We're going live at 8 p.m. Each week is a different guest. If you would like to be featured for 15 minutes, we do a 15-minute segment with each guest. We get all of your questions answered. Go ahead and go to my website. It's aprila carter.com/events. Go check out a lot of the events that we have and go right under where you see Love on the Line and fill out the quick, simple Google form to get featured. And we would love to have you. Make sure to share, subscribe, and like, and we will see you back next Thursday. Thank you guys. Bye.
Peace.
Peace.